At last, this is one of the videos I've been wanting to bring you. 6 months ago, I decided to put two of the world's smallest turbos on my Triumph bobber to see if it would work. This is the world's smallest turbocharger, and this is my 1200cc Triumph bobber. I'm going to fit this to this. Is it going to work? And it did work, sort of. I got it going, but then had a few gremlins. It was cutting out and messing about when I came to a stop, which I determined was the missing return spring on the decompression lever on the camshaft. Maybe it's something as simple as that. So all good. Well, it wasn't, because it still was messing about. I got a lot further than I thought I'd get. And I determined that was due to the crappy injectors I had in it. I had some bigger injectors in it, which you get in the kit with the TTS supercharger. So I put the standard injectors in to see if that was the problem. And it ran absolutely sweet. So I decided to see if I could actually get the fuel the supercharger and turbos needed. Well, it was turbos at this point, with the standard injectors. Which I couldn't, because I broke the motor. Anyway, got it fixed and decided I needed to get more fuel into the motor. So I started messing around with extra injectors. I'll go into more about that later on. Basically, I went through injector hell. It's even less than I had with the standard injectors. That's probably why I'm having trouble. And now, finally, it works. And the solution was simple. I'll let you know what that is later as well. So in this video, I'm going to share my pain, my progress, my perseverance, and now joy. Although I am a little bit nervous because I am taking this out on a test ride where I broke it last time. Now the temperature lights come on. Later on today, and I haven't done that yet, so you'll see that later too. I haven't published a video for a little while because I've been working on myself and my coaching business, but mainly because the bike's been broken and I've been doing a lot of boring, tedious stuff, pulling my hair out, trying to get this bike to work properly. And I got a little bit tired of bringing you videos with titles like, oh, it's broken, is it going to work? Oh, what's wrong now? But not today. So what has been going on? Well, I determined that I needed more fuel in the motor, so I decided to put extra injectors in it. Flashback. Because the problem I have is it is running lean when I get pre-ignition. So the methyl oil injection helps to bring down cylinder temperatures, but it's not going to give me the extra fuel I need. It does actually make the fuel mixture richer, so it may help like that, but I definitely need more fuel. So that's why I need to build this system anyway, whether I have meth injection or not. This is the worst thing about a bobber, all this wiring and stuff. Everything has to be squeezed into such a tight area. There's no space anywhere to actually put anything. So this is a real challenge, especially for stuff like this, because I want to get an extra couple of injectors in. I thought about making a couple of inlet manifold extensions, but then this is going to hit the frame here. I've also had the idea of actually putting two more injectors up in the bottom of the throttle bodies up there. That way I can use the standard fuel rail as well. It'll fit really nicely in there. But then I'm going to have to make a new plenum chamber. And this one works really well. It's really good. TTS have done a really good job of that. The other thing I need to take into account is the blow-off valve. This has to be downstream of any other form of injection I put in. If I can't just tap into here and put in injectors or methanol or anything. Well, I can, but it's just going to come out the blow-off valve every time the blow-off valve opens as well, spraying everything all over the motor. So these are all challenges I have. It's not too much hassle to move the blow-off valve down to somewhere down the front of this further, but it fits in really nice and snug, and it's quite well hidden there. But what I have done is I've ordered some aluminium bends to put in place, or partially in place, of these. And then for now, I can actually just weld onto the aluminium tube to get my injectors in here, maybe pointing straight down the throttle like that, just to see if the system works for now. But that might work really well and might get left there, I don't know. But for now, what I need to do is I've just piggybacked an injector plug onto one of the other injectors. I'm going to plug an injector into it dry, take it for a ride, or even just start it up maybe. It might go wrong as soon as I start it up, just to see if it pulls a fault, because it might have a different resistance and the ECU might pick up a fault if there's a different resistance. I know if you have them unplugged, it brings up a fault, so it might work on detecting the resistance of the injector, but I'm not sure how really it does that. Right, I've got another injector there, which is piggybacked off of this injector up here. Let's turn the ignition on. Go and tune the ECU. Connect to the bike. And check error codes. None there. That's a good sign. Right, so let's put the fuel tank on and take it for a spin. Injector's ticking away. Oh, mind the gearbox. That's my next project. I'm looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. Well, yep, still ticking away. No warning light on. I think that's a win. Can get on with the next stage now, and that is going to be, I'm going to wire a light up to the, hello dog, going to wire a light up to the boost switch, and then see what PSI it comes on at, and then adjust it to what I want, which should probably be 8 PSI, which is the lowest it will go. That gearbox is going in my next motorbike, which I'm really looking forward to. That's a big project, that is, but very interesting. Still ticking away. Right, good. Right, so I've got this little LED rigged up. I've got it actually rigged up so that it's, when it boosts, it turns off. There is a reason for that. It's actually because if I have it the other way around, it backfeeds the injectors and makes them run all the time. Well, actually this one doesn't. The bulb I had before did, but this LED doesn't. But when I've got it rigged up the other way, it does funny things. It's weird. So we're going to take it for a spin. See what it's like. I've actually set this boost switch up with my air compressor. I actually put a compressor in it, and watched the boost gauge until I got like 6 PSI, and that's when the light went out. That's how I adjusted my boost switch, but I'm just going to try it on the road now and adjust it a little bit better.
Flashback.
I got so engrossed in making this video, I forgot to do the subscribe thing. It really helps me to grow the channel if you are actually subscribed. So a lot of you aren't, because only 25% roughly are subscribed. So hit that little subscribe button and help me to bring you better and better content all the time. But anyway, back to the video. What I did was I modified my boost hoses here, which go to the throttle body, so that I could actually put extra injectors in. And I am still going to use that system and get that system going, but to get it going properly, I'm going to have to spend more money. So my first stage was to see if I could piggyback the extra injectors off of my original injectors. And I rigged them up to a boost switch, so they came on at about 8 psi. Well, this system actually worked, but what happened was it was way too rich, because they were going at the same duty cycle as the original injectors. So it was really too rich and didn't work. Really, they need some sort of controller, which you can get, but they're very rare and hard to get now, and very expensive. And I'm sure if you're an electronics wizard or something, or not even a wizard, just to have a basic knowledge of electronics, you could make something with a little potentiometer on it, which could slow down the duty cycle. But that's for another day. I'm going to get that sorted at some point. The injectors turned on, but it was just way too rich. So then I decided, what if on my boost switch, I've got a normally open and a normally closed contact. So I figured, why don't I turn the original injectors off at a certain boost and turn some bigger injectors on? Well, this really didn't work. Well, first of all, I couldn't get the injectors to work, because when the second injectors weren't operating, they were backfeeding. So it was basically, it was joining the two cylinders of injectors together. But I did some research and I did some thinking, and I was really pleased with myself because I sorted it. I put diodes on every injector and that stopped that from happening. I was quite pleased with myself with that. But it didn't work, because the switch over between the two lots of injectors wasn't really working properly, because when it hits the boost switch, it alters things, so it stops boosting a little bit, so then the boost switch turns on and off again, and the fluctuation on the changeover was, it wasn't good. So that didn't really work at all. Right, so I got the second lot of injectors plumbed in with diodes on all of the injectors, so I hopefully won't have a backfeeding problem. Well, I haven't got a backfeeding problem. And I've got the boost switch set up so that when it comes on to boost, it turns off the standard injectors and turns on my big injectors, which are in the manifolds I made. Yeah, I thought that might happen when the switch goes. Because it doesn't just switch just like that, it sort of fluctuates. There's going to be a problem there. Like that. Yeah, I'm not surprised. What about full throttle? No, it doesn't get there. Because it cuts out and then it loses boost, so that it switches back to the standard injectors. Right, this isn't going to work then. I need a controller for extra injectors so that they come on before the other ones turn off, or so that they're on all the time, but you can adjust how much they're on. But I have actually ordered bigger injectors for it, so I'm going to try and set it up just with bigger injectors for now, because I can't afford to get another ECU to deal with the injectors, because they're a lot of money for what they are. And plus there's not many people doing them anymore. Split Second were doing them, but now they're not operating anymore for some reason. However, I've learnt a few things, quite a lot of things actually. So then I spent more money by actually buying some 1000cc injectors to fit in it, which is what I think the TTS injectors were anyway. But I've come to the conclusion after lots of messing about that the standard ECU doesn't like these bigger injectors. Even the ones that TTS supply for the supercharger kit. They were okay at first, but then funny things happen with the ECU. I think it learns things it shouldn't learn and it gets all confused. I don't know. It's really challenging using the standard ECU as well, but I've done it now and I'm really pleased that I've got a solution. So it is simple at the end of the day, but I've been through a lot of stuff which hasn't been simple and spent a lot more money than I needed to find all this out. But I've learned an awful lot and I'm hoping to share that knowledge with you guys. I couldn't get the big 1000cc injectors going. I think what happens is you have to lean them down that much at idle and lower revs that the duty cycle isn't enough just to keep it running. And it doesn't work anyway. Because the big injectors wanted more duty cycle, I figured, why don't I go E85? Because you need to put a lot more fuel in it. So this is what I did. I went and got myself some E85 and stuck it in the tank. But I still couldn't get the injectors going with it. So then I thought it's simple. I put the standard injectors back in with the 85 and richened it up. And this is where we're at the moment. Right, I'm just about to go for my first ride with E85. I've tuned it as best as I can here, but now I need to go out on the road and see what it's like. It looks like it's a little bit lean for E85 according to my AFR gauge, but until you actually under load, there's no way of telling. It's not very smooth at really low throttle. Did a little bit of work there. But once I sort of partial throttle, it's pretty nice. It doesn't feel like it's going to pull away very well. Feels a little bit lean. Actually pulls well. It's just there. It says it's rich, but it feels lean. But maybe it is too rich, and my AFR is not really reading what it should. Because it should be about 9.8 or 9.7, something like that. AFR, ideally. It goes very well. I don't think this AFR gauge is right. I did a little bit of research, and as it happens, my AFR gauge is set up for normal petrol, normal gasoline. And you do need a different one or have it set up to lambda 1 to read E85, which mine isn't. But you can use it because it just shows the same stoichiometric ratio as what's used for pump gas. It's a little bit off, but it's close enough. So I can use it as normal. And I can also look at my spark plugs to see how they're going, and I've got a good idea of where the AFR needs to be and what the gauge is doing. Right, well, let's try this. Oh, the flat spot's much better. I can pull away properly now. Oh, that's awesome. Actually, I don't think this AFR gauge works for E85. It just reads the same as what it would for normal gas. So I probably want that to read like 14 or 13 or 12, whatever, instead of 9. That's so good. I'm confident to go further, except I just forgot my backpack full of tools, which I always take when I go on a longer test run. So I'm going to nip back and get that. I'm really hopeful now, really a lot happier, because it was getting me down, all this. Right, I've got my backpack now. I've normally got it well, I normally have a boost hose blow off and stuff like that, which is quite a common thing after I've been working on it. So it's always good to have a few tools with me. It's pretty good. I've got this bike pretty nailed now, and I only need a few tools to be able to do pretty much anything I can do at the side of the road on it. There goes the boost hose in the usual spot. It's where it usually happens. It's come off again, but I was getting no detonation. That's a good sign. It's a really good sign. Okay, the boost hose is back on again. So now I've just got to try and give it some and look at the AFR. It was a little bit lean, but not so lean as I'd be worried. It definitely wasn't detonating like it used to. That boost hose again! But I'm pleased that it boosted. I had it at full throttle, it hit the rev limiter. I'm happy I've got the detonation problem sorted out. I've just got to sort this out, but since I'm not using these injectors at the moment, I'm just going to buy some more rubber pipes like I had before again. Well, hopefully I've got my boost hoses sorted out now. I've made some little pipes and got the hoses fitting a lot better. So we'll give it a test. This is a notorious spot for where it pops off, or anywhere where I boost it really, but this is my little spot. And it's good. Let's try and keep an eye on the AFR, see if it leaned out. It's a little bit leaner than I want it to be. It's better than it was. I'm so pleased with that. I'm really happy because it's been a pain to get to this stage, and the solution was simple. It always is. But I still want to work on getting these second injectors going, but I don't have the budget for that at the moment. But it actually rides beautifully low down, all the way through the rev range. I reckon I've lost a bit top end compared with the supercharger, but we're going to find that out on the drag strip. I have got the timing really low at the moment. I've only got 24 degrees of timing in it at full boost, flat out. So the standard is 32, but I was running 27 with the supercharger, so there's room for improvement. Doing this sort of stuff is way more challenging on a motorcycle than on a car, because especially a motorcycle like this, because you haven't got any room to put anything like extra control units or tanks and pumps and stuff like that. That's why I've been a bit reluctant to go the water meth injection route, because I'm going to have another pump, I'm going to have to put a tank somewhere, all this sort of stuff, and it's all adding weight as well. So I have been trying to keep this simple, and also I don't really want to spend a lot of money on it because I haven't got a lot of money to spend on it, and I want to try and do things not so much in a backyard way, but just with the resources I have and what most people have, just to inspire people that they can have a go with what they've got. And you don't need a big flash workshop with CNC machines and TIG welders and all the flash gear, what a lot of YouTube channels have got. This has been really challenging for me, especially lately, to the point of me nearly quitting, or at least putting it on hold, putting the bike back to standard just so I've got a motorbike again. And if this wouldn't have worked today, what I've got sorted this morning, then that probably would have happened. So now I'm really grateful that I can move on, because I just want to progress. I want to get this thing faster. I want to get this turbo system sorted so I know it works, because that was the aim of all this, to see if it would work. and I know it does. So now we've just got to improve on it, see if we can make it faster than the supercharger. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It's definitely got way more power and torque down low, but it might have lost a little bit top end. But we're going to see. I'm going to get to a drag strip next week to really prove that. Having projects like this and learning what I'm learning and sharing it with you guys through the channel gives me great purpose. And this is one of my favourite things I love about helping people with my mental fitness coaching, is to help people get over the crap that's holding them back so they can realise their purpose and get on with their purpose. I love to help people who feel stuck and feel that they're just spinning the wheels and not getting anywhere. If you want to know more about my coaching business and how I help other people, there'll be a link in the description. Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to be going for a spin now, does it? There is another area of the map that I do need to work on before I take the bike to the drag strip. And it's raining at the moment, so I'm going to have to do it in here. Oh. Safety first. Don't like riding without boots. That needs to come off. That needs to go off. Needs to come up. The AFR was good. I think it's ready. I love the smell of burnout smoke and I love the smell of E85, so my house is going to smell awesome. Well, it's 6:30 on a Saturday morning. No, it's not. It's 6:30 on a Sunday morning, and I'm taking this opportunity to go for a little ride while there's a break in the weather, because I promised you guys I'd take the bike to where it broke the other day, or the other week. And I'm going to do that. But it's actually raining. It's not too bad at the moment. The road's sort of dry and there's a little break in the weather. It's going to rain later, that's why I'm coming out now. It goes absolutely awesome. I don't know if it's any faster, top end, but I don't think it's any worse, certainly not. And it's still really pulling hard. It feels like it's got more torque. It's actually pulling on my arms a bit more than I remember. I'd call this a success. So, Willow Bank next week. I might ride it to work a couple of times during the week, because I'm really confident with the way it rides right now and its rideability. So that'll be another good test. I'm really pleased because I achieved what I set out to do. So next week, weather permitting, I'm going to get it to the drag strip. Hopefully it'll be faster. Not really sure about that yet. I'm probably going to find out the cons of E85 very soon. Well, there's one big one already. That was, according to the gauge, it was using 9 litres per 100 Ks, which isn't too bad. It's got a 9 litre tank, so I should be all right. And I'm also pleased because I can now progress with this project, and there's lots of other videos and content I want to make about it, and lots of other things I want to do. Oh, and I still got to put the supercharger back on with the turbos. I very much doubt that's going to make it any more powerful, but that'll be interesting to see what happens. But I was nearly ready to quit, but I kept on keeping on. And like Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going. And I'm really pleased I did now. This has been a really long video. Let me know in the comments if you're still watching this and you prefer long videos, or if you prefer shorter videos, which you probably wouldn't be commenting on now because you probably wouldn't be here. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and have a great day.